All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 72 of the RnRGzrs Show. I'm your host, Murph, and tell you what, got a really cool show. This week, we got three concert reviews for crying out loud and all sorts of different news. We're gonna slip into the pop world for a second there and jump back out into some metal stuff. Mustaine, Friedman. I've got some McCartney, some Cooper. Ronnie Radke's back in the news. Oh, it's just exciting, good news. Looking forward to this show, boy. I couldn't do it by myself, though. Of course, we need my co-host, Doc Vox, to help us out. What's shaking, Doc?
Doing all right, man. Very glad to be here for another week of rock news and conversation with you, my friend, and all the viewers. So, thanks everybody again for checking in. Really, it means the world to us. And if you haven't subscribed, please take a second to do that. And like, comment, all that good stuff would be very cool. So, as always, the rock world keeps turning, giving us interesting news items. And before we get into all that, though, yeah, we had a busy concert week this week. We had three of them. We had four on the docket, and the weather looked ominous for the fourth that we didn't really care too much about anyway. So, but yeah, we did hit three, and it was a good time, man. Real good
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Thursday night, Boy George come into town, and he's sort of not really in our wheelhouse too much. I believe you mentioned that word wheelhouse there, Doc. Boy George. But I wasn't really there to see Boy George. I was there to see the opening acts, Howard Jones and Berlin. And Howard Jones opened up. There he is right there. There's the band. Howard, he had a guitarist, two keyboards, and his bass player also played the Chapman stick. The
Right.
musician, yeah, he's playing it or is he playing it in the picture there? Yes,
Looks like
is.
it, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then of course Howard Jones on the keyboards, the piano, the keytar, and all that stuff.
Right.
Drums were obviously done by the computers or the synthesizers, but it was a great show. I was
Real
surprised.
fun show, yeah.
Howard, he's still in voice. All them really oh gosh, he did all his hits. I've got two here. Things could only get better. What is love? Love is to blame or whatever.
No one is to blame.
No
Yeah,
one is to blame.
that's the great
some
one,
really
yeah.
good. And he, like I say, he really put on a great show. Great show. And you know what almost ruined the whole thing for me, Doc? It almost brought me down to basement level was the fact that the bass player was in the group Kaja Gugu.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Kaja Gugu is the owner of one of the songs I hate the most, Too Shy, Too Shy.
Yeah, and they did that song.
They did
too.
it. But
Yeah.
I dug deep for intestinal and testicular fortitude to just say, let it roll off me like water on a duck's back. And so yeah, it was good show. The crowd really wasn't real big at that point, but who was there was very enthusiastic. So I'm sure he appreciated that. So yeah, good old Howard Jones, man, good time. And then
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the crowd too coming in. This is one of them. All three of the shows we had this week were no lawn. So people may know we have our season passes for the lawn, and there was a small enough crowd. Lawn was closed. All three shows we had to filter down into the pavilion, and the first one, the Boy George one, was a nightmare. They had a line of people as far as the eye could see, and one kid at the end of it with a handful of tickets,
and a phone trying to give out tickets.
Yeah, trying to
I
work
figured,
this out.
there were
So.
probably 300 people in a line walking up the ramps
yeah,
when you
at least,
walk
yeah.
up the ramps into
Yeah.
the pavilion. Because they had nothing going on. They let us in with our passes and then said, "Well, the guy at the top of the ramp will get you a ticket." So, oh, cool. We walk in there. As soon as I see it, there's like 5 deep line all the way down the ramp coming at us. Like, well, that's
And
not
no
good.
way.
So we walk up the ramp. Yeah, there's one kid there with a phone, trying to find seats and stuff. So, as you probably realize by now, we don't put up with that crap. We do what we want. So we just did what we want. We went and grabbed some seats, some real nice, comfortable seats, and we stayed there all night. Nobody bothered us. So
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those
And
deals.
that's what we did all 3 nights.
Yeah, all
So
3 nights we just
it was
grabbed our own seats.
yeah, it was just kind of a free for all, man. It was very odd. They
It's a
very
free for all.
yeah, very little organization. It just Credit Union One. They changed the name to Credit Union One this year. They were Hollywood Casino Amphitheater last year, and I
Yes.
don't know if with the name change is new management. It certainly seems that way.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they're dropping the ball.
things haven't gone too smoothly. I got to say, but other than that, we had talked about the week before we saw Brett Michaels in the same situation. Lawn was closed, and we had commented on the sound, and we
Oh,
wasn't sure if it was just being down in the pavilion, if our ears getting adjusted or whatever. But no, it was
it was the
crystal
sound
clear
man.
sound. Yeah,
Like I said, it was that
yeah,
frequency. They couldn't shut down whatever
yeah.
frequency was ringing the whole night, and it proved our point. Yeah, the sound was great. Sound was great
Yeah,
for the Boy George concert. But
yeah.
anyway, let's move on. Berlin. Berlin came on next, and I was expecting, they did that song Metro and all that stuff, and it's sort of poppy and all this stuff, but they surprised the hell out of us. They are a great rock band, man. They, just had two guitars, bass, keyboard, drums, and then of course Terry Nunn singing. And boy, she hasn't lost a beat, huh?
I'd say gotten better. I was so impressed. Phenomenal. I would say the vocal performance of the summer so far. Yeah, I was super impressed. Yeah, they did all their hits. They have a tight set and everything. And then they also did a cover of the Cults' "She Sells Sanctuary,"
That was
which
great.
yeah, it was very cool, very cool. So yeah, great show from Berlin. So
Yeah, them three, yeah, the three guitarists rocked very hard. I was really impressed, being a guitarist, obviously, but yeah, they got together and really kicked some ass. I was surprised. I was expecting some poppy '80s stuff, and no, they at points they really rocked hard. So good for her. Way to go, Terry Nunn. And then the headliner, Boy George. Like I say, he's not in our wheelhouse. There's this band right there. Yeah, guitars. Yeah, the whole
well, see,
kit
I
and
say, yeah.
caboodle.
Let me interject here. Everybody thinks Boy George, but it's Culture Club. The band
Yeah,
is Culture Club, and
sorry.
Boy
Yeah,
George is the
yeah,
front man. But yeah, no, that's how they build it, and that's how
right.
everybody
Yeah.
looks at it and everything. So
Nonetheless, Culture Club, excellent band. Great backup singers. Songs done, pretty much to perfection. Great. Crowd loved it. But we were there for the two earlier bands, so we stuck around for probably a little over half his show, and then called it a night. But
yeah,
he was doing well, doing good, looking good, having a great time, and like I say, the Culture Club was spot on. So right on. It was a good night. All in all,
yeah, it's
it was
kind
a
of a
really good night.
nostalgic kind of night. Yeah, it's kind of a fun,
Uh-huh.
obviously not bringing out any of the new stuff, or maybe he did. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty cool. They well produced, good production, the whole set. So yeah, good night.
Good time, good time. Then Friday night we ended up going to uh J what is this? JLB's Led Zeppelin help me out, Doc. Help me out.
Jason Bonham's Led
Thank you.
Zeppelin Evening.
Jay, yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, 'cause I keep forgetting that. But and then he opened up for Government Mule. And again, we picked our own seats and they were good enough seats. We were happy with them, and we got there in plenty of time for the start of it. And they're going to be great. Jason Bonham. They're going to do pretty much the songs to perfection, and they did. Really cool. Really nice tight show. Uh, but how do you try to sing like Robert Plant though? He did all right. He did good, but
He
boy,
was not unlike him. Let's put it that way. Yes, he
yeah.
was quite adequate, I would say, and
Yeah,
then
because it's
some.
hard. It's hitting
Yeah.
all them high notes, and he was hitting the high notes, and but they did everything pretty much to perfection. Like I said, went through the career of Led Zeppelin, and it was very cool. But then, holy
Yeah,
shit,
they the Jimmy Page guy, he kind of had some of Jimmy's moves down, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, it was mostly earlier stuff. I think Over the Hills and Far Away was like the most recent one. They didn't do anything like from in the evening or anything like that. So yeah, pretty cool. They did have a fifth guy, added a second guitar and keyboards kind of off to the side there. And thankfully thankfully they did not do Stairway to Heaven.
You know,
They
you
rocked
said that you predicted they wouldn't either, and they didn't. And good for them, because God, I'm sorry, I've heard it enough already.
No, there's plenty of good rockers, and then that's what they did. And yeah, so
Yeah. So, yeah, hallelujah on that one. But then, so they were opening up for Government Mule, and we really didn't know what to expect.
honestly, I kind of came into the evening almost thinking like, man, we're going to see two cover bands. Like it's granted next level cover bands, but
Yeah.
if you don't know, Government Mule is doing Dark Side of the Moon. They're doing the entire album Dark Side of the Moon, and they did some other stuff too. But so yeah, going into it, I'm kind of thinking, okay, yeah, it's gonna be some really cool cover bands.
Warren Hayes,
and boy, it was
Warren Hayes. Wow. Let me say, Warren Hayes. Yeah, he comes out and they start to show up. He's basically on a Les Paul on his slide, and just making the guitar sing. Of course, an extraordinary slide player. They do a whole bunch of songs like that, and then a little bit through it, he hops into the Stratocaster, and they fire into the Pink Floyd, and wow, it's hard to explain. But the lights, you can see on behind me, the lights were amazing, and it's funny because the stage set itself looked sort of bland. I had mentioned to you, it's like I had mentioned, boy, that stage is not real impressive, and then they got playing, and the lights hit. And holy schmokeums, Doc, that was amazing. They had haze generators everywhere. They had them back by the mixing board by the front of house guy, and blowing into so they could have as much haze in the amphitheater as possible for these lights, because these lights were just amazing. I've never seen anything like it. It was just wow. Geez. And then they got into the Dark Side of the Moon, and taken from there, Doc.
Yeah, it came out. They did. It was kind of like kind of like their own opening band. Kind of. They did a Government Mule set, about 8 songs, which very cool. I'm not big into them, but it was good.
Oh yeah.
And then they did Dark Side of the Moon, but they did some other Pink Floyd classics too. They started off with "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," and just hitting those first notes and playing that, the place was up. And I'm not a big great light show, but oh my God, dude, it was it really drew you in. I mean, yeah, it was something to behold for sure. And you got to think, why is he doing this? I got to think it's just something that he's always wanted to do. Obviously, a big Pink Floyd fan, and just wanted to do it right and bring that album out to a new generation and in a way that Pink Floyd would do it. And I gotta say, stellar production across the board, man. I was wowed at every level, man. It was just phenomenal.
And then the house came down when they did the big gig in the sky. The house came down. 2 female singers. Oh yeah, it brought the place. That was it. They did it so well. It was unbelievable. It was just I have to see if there's a video of that anywhere on YouTube.
Yeah, they have the 2, and the first one comes on. She's, the Great Gig in the Sky. If you don't check it out, it's where the vocal runs, I guess, or whatever. And she's just like blowing people's minds. And then the second one comes out, and you're like, man, your face is melted off, man. You're just like, this is unbelievable, man.
Then they work off each other at the end, and it's like, geez, get out of town, out of town. It was just unbelievable. A must see if you get a chance to go see Government Mule. You have to see them.
And ironic thing, I would say, well, the next night's crowd was fairly small too, but this is the smallest crowd of the year probably. And if folks had season tickets and didn't come out, shame on you, man.
Yeah.
You missed a great one, man. You missed a great one.
Just really, really quite extraordinary to say.
And the stage banner was minimal. All I can remember him saying at one point during the Government Mule part of the set was just good to see you. Here's a couple from the new album.
Boom, that was it.
That was it.
And that's so much appreciated, because we heard enough of that over the last 3 concerts. The stage banter, that one of my pet peeves, Doc, I gotta say right real quickly, is when a singer will say, "Let me hear you scream," and everybody screams. But no, he's not satisfied. Even blowing your lungs out enough. I can't hear you. damn it, we just screamed, dude.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
I got to do it again. They just that kind
Yeah,
of.
I
I
know it's
know, I
kind of
know.
tough to be original, but yeah,
It is what it is, and everybody does it. But it's just
yeah.
like, no, I screamed once, dude. God, now I got to scream harder. I'm gonna blow out a lung. Gee, many
Are you
creepers.
ready to rock? I don't know.
Oh,
Can you give me a couple more minutes, man? I gotta take care
catch
of
my
something real
breath.
quick. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, geez. But
yeah,
so
yeah.
anyway, okay. So we boogie on into Saturday night, which is a 5 band bill. We had Mudvayne, Mudvayne being opened by Cold Chamber, being opened by Mudvayne being opened by Cold Chamber, being opened by Guar, being opened by Non-Point, being opened by Butcher Babies. Here we go. Where are the Butcher Babies? I love them. They're such lovely. There they are. They're lovely lasses. The kind of gal you want to bring home to ma. Not. Holy cow. These are the kind they're the screaming kind, the screaming singers.
Yeah.
They scream pretty well. They do have singing voice. You could hear them sing every now and then, but a lot of screaming, a lot of hair flinging, a lot of I couldn't hear, quite honestly, because here we go with the sound again, Doc.
Yeah,
I
very
couldn't,
muddy, very muddy.
muddy, and especially if you do drop tuning, drop D, and some of these bands are doing probably drop B, and when it's that low, it's like it's like a subwoofer. It's like at your home system, you only need one subwoofer because the low frequencies they spread out. You really can't get any clarity on the low end. It's the high end where you get the clarity, the separation. So if you got all your instruments doing drop D stuff, it's really hard to clarify anything. And if you're in a chamber, that's even worse. So they just, it was all muddy and stuff, but they looked like they were having fun on stage anyway. Jeez.
Yeah, they did a half-hour set. They came out. Had a kind of a rainy kind of day. It was we've been blessed with very good weather, but it was kind of rainy. And this is one of them again where the lawn was closed, but we didn't know that until we got there. It was very, very bad
Weird.
messaging and communicating on the venue's part. But
Well, it's funny because they usually let us bring our chairs. We can bring short beach chairs onto the lawn for comfort. And they said, okay, well, we're closing the lawn for these two shows. And then the Mudvayne show, you can come, but you can't bring chairs or blankets.
Yeah.
And I thought that's sort of odd. The lawn's going to be open, but you have to sit on the lawn itself. And then it turns out that it was raining anyway when we got there. So they didn't even open the lawn at all. So, and it didn't matter.
And the pavilion was what, 3/4, maybe a little better, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The back, probably 8 rows were wet from the rain blowing in. So we got like 10 rows up. It was plenty dry. So again, we had good seats, but it was cold and raw, and you were underdressed, and it was horrifying, man. Oh boy. But so to start out, the Butcher Babies, they did their half hour, and like I say, couldn't hear squat about what they were playing, but I'm sure they had a great time. And then Non-Point came on.
They were very prompt. Very prompt.
That's one thing about this.
on the dot, out at 6 o'clock on the dot. Yeah.
And it's funny because I do appreciate that too, Doc. The promptness of this concert. No BS. They started on time. I actually saw a post from Non-Point before the concert that said, we'll be going on at exactly 6:20. So blah, 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 blah. So sure enough, exactly 6:20. Boom. They start. It was great. Great rock band. Great, standard hard rock stuff. Again, the mix wasn't that good. So gee, many creepers, that really blows a bad mix.
Yeah, they didn't seem very memorable to me. Just kind of
good rock
variety. Yeah, yes,
good rock.
Not bad.
Oh geez, hang on, I gotta take a drink before this one. And then Guar comes out. Guar. Oh, Guar. That's a pretty good picture. That's from the concert, actually, from our concert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Spewing their blood and whatnot.
Grotesque version of Vladimir Putin come out there and cut his hands off and spew blood all over the anticipating crowd.
Guar, what a bizarre concept, if you will. Guar, geez, I don't know how many are total in the band, but they do have a good backing band. I'll give them that. They got some tight hard rockers, a couple guitars, bass, drums, and a singer. And Lord, they got a whole host of people. The
little monkey guys kind of running
eunuchs?
around. Yeah, I don't know.
A couple of eunuchs with mankinis on and nothing else except one guy had a monkey head on. And yeah, they're they're they have all these creatures coming out throughout the night, like Vladimir Putin right there. And to be able, in order to spew blood, they got to hook them up to a hose from behind. So that's what the eunuchs were doing all night, is coming out, scurrying down real low, bringing a hose. Probably obviously got a quick link up on the hose, quick link, boom. And then they start spewing the blood and stuff. They'll come back out, unhook the hose, and away they go. But those poor, we knew there was trouble when the first thing they did when they got non-point out of there, they started laying down plastic over everything on stage.
Yep, laying down the tarp on
everywhere.
Yep.
And sure enough, they needed to, because boy, the people in the front rows, they had to just get doused. And it's cold and raw and wet. And now they're cold, now they're wet, and they're doused with fake blood, and Lord knows what the hell else. Jeez. But what a bizarre show.
Yeah, it's everything you think it'd be. I mean, it's way, way over the top on everything. You can kind of see there the main. I wish I knew all their names. I looked it up, but I didn't commit it to memory. But he has multiple penises. It's like kind of like an udder, and
he calls it his penis bag, I believe.
And at one point, there's another alien comes out and performs oral copulation and whatnot, and he spews guarges all over the crowd.
These guys are so it's so off the wall.
I got to tell you, last night, man, I was kind of messing around the house and cleaning, doing stuff, and went on YouTube there and looking up some Guar stuff. Man, they can really play. They actually have some good songs. I always just took them as just a kind of a gimmick band and just nothing seriously musically, but yeah, they're worth looking into for sure, man. I was watching them doing a lot of covers. They were doing like "Carry On Wayward Son," stuff like that. Oh, which by the way, they finish up their set with a cover of AC/DC's "If You Want Blood, You Got It," and it's just constant streams of their blood.
Oh yeah, that was so bizarre.
There had to be a pool of that stuff's just sitting there at the barricade there. I bet when they were done, it was just quite.
Well, let me see their names. Oh boy, you want to hear some of their names, Doc?
Yes, yes.
Techno Destructo is one of them. Cock and Balls Slave, that's another one. Muzzle Slave, Bone Snapper, that's one. Matron MX2 Sawborn Destructo. Like, what the hell is that? Where's all the other ones? Where's the oh geez. Oh, that's the supporting personnel. They've got a Flatus Maximus, Beefcake the Mighty.
Yeah, he's the singer. Or no, he's the bass player. He's one of the big Trojan.
They did have Nippolis Erectus, but he's gone. Steven Sphincter, I think he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, Odorous Urangus was the guy that started it. Dave Brock.
He died in 2014. Yes. Yeah. Odorous Urangus. Pustulus Maximus. He's there. Yeah. He's the guitarist.
Yeah, he's one of the guitarists, right?
Excellent. So yeah. A Ballsack, the Jaws of Death.
Yeah, that was the other guitar player. Yeah,
he's there. Brothar, the Berserker.
Trap looking head, yeah.
Yeah, they're excellent. But yeah, they're worth seeing just to get a good chuckle, because they're out of their freaking minds. These guys really take it all the way. And I wouldn't bring the kids necessarily. A lot of kids, there are kids, throughout, sprinkled throughout sparsely throughout the amphitheater. I thought, this ain't quite the show you bring kids. So what do you do? So yeah, they put on their great show.
But I was laughing throughout, man. It's quite an entertaining show.
And then the
fourth band.
Yeah. I forgot. I got a brain fart at the moment, Doc.
Cold Chamber.
Cold Chamber, yeah. Yeah. And again, the sound, it could be better, boy. Female bass player, a 4-piece, basically. Yeah. A bass guitar, a lead singer, and drums. And of course, they kicked ass. They've been around for a long time. I've heard their name for quite a while. I've heard them on some of the harder rock stations. I've heard some of their stuff, so I was familiar with a little of it. And yeah, they were all right. No big whoop, but they did not disappoint the crowd. So that's basically what matters. So
Yeah,
Wow.
not the, I'm not a big metal guy, not my particular cup of tea, but I kind of go into it. And also of note, my daughter went to the show with us, so that was kind of cool. She's a bit of a
Yeah.
metalhead, and
Chloe, yeah.
yeah, so we had a good time with that.
Mhm.
And she kind of filled me in on stuff a little bit as we're watching, kind of a guide through the metal world, I guess. But yeah, good enough show. Good enough show. I didn't not like it. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's all
And
right.
it was all right. And then Mudvayne comes up. There's Chad right there. Spent most of the show on his knees right there by the crowd,
Yeah.
if not in the crowd itself. Yeah, yeah. He not one of these guys for standing too much. He must like just kicking back. Maybe he's got bad knees. I don't know. So maybe that could be the case. But nonetheless, yeah, he spent most of the show kneeling in the very front of the stage, as close to the people as he could get. So and we've seen him twice now, and if I don't see him again, I'm not gonna lose any sleep. I've seen him, and it's all right, but it just there's not a lot of groove to their music. I love groove.
Yeah.
They're,
No,
they're
there's
just
not.
herky jerky. A lot of their herky jerky stuff and
Yeah.
killer bass and killer band, but yeah, and he did good. Obviously he kicked ass. The crowd loved him. I thought they were great, but if I have my druthers, I probably won't see him next time. I'll probably pass.
Yeah, last year we saw him opening for Rob Zombie, and this time headlining. But here's a little piece of note on the exact same date.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly a year later, August 5th, a year
Wow.
apart. Yeah.
Dig
So
that.
this time, like I said, they were headlining. We were kind of wondering if he had to put on that makeup at every show, or if it's some kind of prosthesis kind of thing, or
Oh yeah,
prosthetic, I should
yeah.
say. I guess I don't know. I don't know what word I'm saying half the time. But anyway, did you see a video I sent you? It shows
Right, right.
his whole
Putting
routine
on the
of
whole face.
putting it on. So yeah, I enjoyed him. I was kind of wanting to hit my daughter to him, and she enjoyed him enough, so that was good enough for me.
Yeah.
And he emotes quite well. I do
Yeah.
appreciate him as a front man. He yeah, really
He puts it out there, man. He
yeah,
surely
yeah,
does. And then of course we walk out and it's raining. It's just one of those nights. It's
yeah. It was a
raining, and then
constant rain.
yeah, yeah. So those are our three concerts we saw. We got one coming up Thursday, I believe. Is
Yeah,
that
just one this week, and
Disturbed
then
or is that Godsmack? Which one?
Godsmack.
Godsmack. Okay.
Godsmack was Stained, and
Stained.
that's actually a co-headlining. So I would assume Godsmack will be the headliner, but
Godsmack will be the headliner. Stain ain't
if
been
it's,
out
if
there
it's,
enough.
if it's yeah, but that's
It
co-headliner. They could be. I mean,
no, no, Doc. I will bet you. No, I won't bet you. I'm just saying, Godsmack could be the headliner. They've been out there more. Stain's sort of like been nowhere forever. So
yeah.
I gotta imagine they're got to be appreciative just to be hooked up with a band like Godsmack. Get them
That's like in a
back in
couple weeks we see ZZ Top and Skinner, and that's a co-headlining tour.
with
So
Uncle Cracker,
yeah, I would assume ZZ Top would be the headliner, but maybe not. So
Uncle Saltine.
yeah, and then we had a potential fourth show we could have went to on Sunday, Matchbox 20. And obviously, yeah, we're not. Yeah, let's go see Matchbox 20. But I was interested. They had initially the opening band was the Wallflowers,
Right.
Bob Dylan's Jacob Dylan's band, which
That's right. That was
yeah,
my
that first
boy.
first album, Bringing Down the Horse. I really like that album. And apparently they changed that. Now they got some guy named Ben Rector.
Ben
Rector
Rec.
damn near killed her. I've never heard of it.
Do you say Ben
Yeah.
Rectum? What the?
No, Rector.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rector. Okay.
Rector. Barely know
So
her.
they changed it midstream. That sort of sucks.
So yeah, once I saw that, and yeah, the weather was not looking too agreeable. And after one night of sitting kind of in the rain, I was like, yeah, I think we'll pass on this one and get ready for the rest of the month, which we got I think 6 more for the rest of the month. So it's going to be
A busy rest of the season, quite honestly. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Oh, it's going to be just crazy cool. So, yeah, so that took care of our 3-concert week. All right, moving on. Doc, we gotta jump into the pop world for just a little bit, man. Don't get worried, don't get concerned, but we're heading into the pop world for a little
There's
bit here.
some worthy news to delve into.
This
there
is
for
extremely worthy. this is a lady who's setting the standard for all these other big tours that are making boatloads of money. And we're talking to none other than our sweetheart. There she is. Taylor Swift. There she is with her money. See? That's perfect. Taylor, but the thing, not a problem. The beautiful thing about it is she's giving back. She gave a total of $55 million bonuses to her crew and everybody worked around her show, including that includes $100,000 bonuses for each of the 50 semi truck drivers who drove that stuff around. And that's what we're talking about there. That is really just absolutely amazing. Just wow. Why haven't other people done that at all these multi hundreds of millionaires? Why haven't they taken care of the people? And this is not just the truckers, everybody from the dancers to the sound technicians, the caterers, to the riggers, to everybody. Everybody on that tour, she made their day. They'll probably go out and put a down payment on a house or something, for crying out loud.
Well, shit, 100 grand, dude. That's life changing money, man. I mean, obviously that sounds like they got the biggest chunk, but I'm sure dancers, I don't know, tens of thousands.
I'm sure she
anyway,
took care of all of them, and everybody got an individual.
You're reaching a total bill. You're reaching a total bill of 55 mil. I mean, granted, this may end up being the biggest grossing tour of all time. I'm sure.
And that's a heck of a tax write-off.
Anyway.
That's a heck of a tax write-off.
But nonetheless, it's unprecedented. Nobody's done this at any level. This is, she's coming just totally out of her heart. It's not, she's not following any trend. She's not.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And I said, well, what's with this Taylor Swift girl I've heard about? So I went on YouTube and checked out one of her full concerts that somebody recorded on there, and I can understand the 50 semis with the amount of staging and production and everything. It's a monster production. So wow, good for her, and I'm sure she's making money hand over fist nonetheless, and taking care of the people around you. That's where you get loyalty. That's where you breed loyalties, when you take care of the people around you. Wow, that's just stunning. And will Springsteen do this? Will who else is on tour? Beyonce. Will she do it? Because they're all mega hundreds millionaires. Let's see. She set the standard. Let's see if everybody else.
And it doesn't have to be at that level. I mean, that's a freaking mind blowing, amount. 55 million.
Imagine how much he made.
Still, a couple grand to everybody. Decent Christmas size bonus. It goes a long way.
Yeah. Metallica. I'm sure they're making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Let's see how you take care of your people. Let's see how you. Not time to step up or shut up, because she has definitely set the standard. Good for her. I used to drive a big rig. You knew that. Yeah, I used to drive the big rig, and boy, that'd be a hell of a bonus coming my way, man. So,
I'm sure it's a well-paying gig to begin with. I mean, but it's temporary, and then to say hey, we're end of the show, and hey, appreciate your work. You got the stuff there on time every show. Here's $100 grand,
how many of them bought a house or put a down payment on a house with that kind of money?
Paid off a house or something.
Okay, and here we go. Let's go to the other side of the spectrum.
Exactly.
A gal named Lizzo. Holy cow. She's being sued by 3 former dancers for alleged sexual harassment on her tour or whatnot. And she embraces body positivity and confidence and all this crap. And then she's accused of subjecting the group of dancers to a, quote, excruciating audition after apparently leveling false accusations that were drinking on the job. This is horrible, though. I don't know if it's horrible. Well, it wouldn't be horrible for me. Well, some of the things they did anyway, where they have to, something with not the banana one. Let me see if I can find it up. But
there's one where allegedly they were forced to touch a nude performer in Amsterdam.
That wouldn't bother me.
That wouldn't bother me.
Oh, touch a nude performer, just one? I'd be asking just one.
But there's obviously every time stuff like this comes out, it's like with Ellen too. Remember, as soon as somebody comes out once, then the floodgates open and everybody's like, yeah, she is an ass. And so now she ends up she fired a dancer over weight gain. That's her whole thing, is you can be great at any size and all of that. And now here she's the biggest hypocrite, man. So
Liz,
the
Lizzo.
other the captain of the dance team is also named as a defendant too. So apparently it's almost like some kind of a hazing thing. It almost sounds like what's going on in
Yeah.
Northwestern or something.
Well,
But another kicker, there was a filmmaker was to direct a documentary
right.
and dropped out. Said she's never been treated with such disrespect.
That should
And,
say everything right
and
there.
dropped it out. That says everything right there.
Yeah.
So it just shows you these people are so fake. The whole and everything she says is right. Is everything she says everything she should be saying, but she's not living it. She ain't walking the walk.
Bingo. Ain't not walking the walk. So yeah, there you go. Figures. Yeah, she can talk the talk, just can't follow through, and that's a shame. And man, here's another one. Cardi B. Oh, Cardi. Look at this picture here. It looks like she's getting ready to throw the mic. Look at that. You son of a. Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she actually did throw the mic at some guy in the crowd, or somebody at a girl in the crowd.
A gal, I believe.
A gal. I'm looking at the video right here, but the problem is earlier in the she's telling people to throw water on her. And so this girl threw water on her. She did not throw the cup, just the water, but it must have hit her in the wrong way or whatever. And Cardi B hauled off and whacked her with the mic. And, then don't tell people to throw water on you. Jeez.
Yeah, she's so classy. She said, "I'm so hot up here, somebody throw some water or splash me to cool off my pussy or something along those lines." So, yeah, real classy. So if female fan did exactly that, and I'm sure, I don't know how well you can aim something like that, but splashed her up in the face. And I mean hair trigger, man. She did it was split second through that as hard as she could at this woman. And there's a bunch of different videos out there, fan video, and there's one showing her she's looking up at her. I'm sorry. And to me, this is something she asked for, kind of. Granted, maybe that's not exactly how she wants. I don't know. Don't put yourself out there. And two, she kind of has a history of doing this. Just a few shows before then, her DJ had made a mistake. And again, hair trigger, man. Whipped around on her heels and did the exact same thing, threw the mic right at him. So apparently that's a thing where her just kind of
psycho
entitled, the world must bow to her and meet her needs kind of thing. So
sorry, not interested, Cardi B. Go away.
Real nice role model, and go sing your wet ass pussy song somewhere.
Real nice, real good role model for the kids. Glad to see it. Jeez,
utter trash. But
here's a real role model for the kids who doesn't like things being thrown. That would be our very own Dave Mustaine. Look at how ticked off he is right there when people throw things. Look at that picture. He's pissed. People throwing things and whatnot.
That's his resting face, man. That's just
well, he commented on it. He made an interesting twist to it. He said, "If people don't like you, they're gonna. If people don't like you, they're gonna throw shit. Maybe it's graduated from rotten tomatoes to dildos. I don't know. But if you're giving them a great show, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So don't get up there acting like a spoiled effing brat and telling them not to throw stuff." That's sort of whatever, Dave. He added, "I don't have to worry about it. Plus, my eyesight is so bad, I probably won't see anything flying through the air until it's too late." Well, there you go, Dave. No problem. We didn't see anybody throwing anything on his stage when we saw him. Although this weekend I did see a couple of bottles or something flying up to the stage a couple of times during these shows. I caught one of those too. Yeah. A couple of times people threw up stuff up towards the stage. It didn't make it, but they try. Dumbasses, don't do that.
Yeah, no, he's kind of got a point, though. I mean, usually if I'm in a show and I'm enthralled and I'm into the show, I'm not thinking about throwing something. I mean,
you're enjoying the show too much. And why would you when the guy's, kicking your ass? Just, giving you exactly what you want. So, hey, way to go, Dave. And he just got his brown belt in jiu-jitsu. So be careful around him, because if you mess with him, he's going to tie you up into a pretzel and, probably rub your face against the concrete. So don't mess with Dave. Good job, Dave. Good on that. Good discipline, man. It takes, not easy to get a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Now go fight Hoist Gracie. Just kidding. Okay, moving on. Moving on. What do we got here?
He's got to be 60 by now, right? He's like right
Yes,
around
yes,
my
he is.
age. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
And speaking of Dave Mustaine, yeah, Marty Feldman of
Friedman. Marty
Friedman of
Feldman was the big bug-eyed
pardon me,
guy
yeah,
in the
Bug-Eyed Guy.
Young
Marty
Frankenstein.
Friedman
Yeah.
of Cacophony, yeah, and used to be with Megadeth, and he
Yeah.
joined him on stage for crying out loud. Yeah, he's
Over in
been
Germany at the Wacken Festival. May remember we brought it up. Oh gosh, I think it was February. It's earlier this year, like towards the beginning of the
we
year,
talked about the
where
walk-in,
he
yeah.
had. Well, no, we talked about where Megadeth when they came to Japan, where Marty, that's his home now. That's where he lives in
Oh,
Japan,
right,
and
yeah.
he joined them on stage there for I think just 3 songs, if I remember right. And so now, yeah, apparently they crossed paths and at the Wacken Festival over there in Germany, and he'd done 4 songs with him. Got up there and did a 4-song set with him. So, this seems to be everybody
Yeah,
seems to be buddy buddy. Everybody seems to be on good terms. Maybe something's to come out of this. So obviously he was asked about it. He says, the door's open, and
yeah, man, the door's open. I think the door's always been open. It's really just a matter of doing something that has meaning to it, meaning for them and meaning for me. So Budokan is sort of a non-brainer, but if something were to come up that would be a good thing for them and a good thing for me and add value to it, then I'm all for it. It's all about value added. That's a clutch word
right.
back in the industrial world. Value added. As far as I'm concerned, the band is just kicking so much ass right now. I can't imagine them needing me for anything. But Budokan was wonderful. There's other things in the future. My door's open and we're on great terms. And I love all the guys in the band. It's very casual. So they've all matured. And yeah, maybe get who knows?
That's a really, really good way to look at it. It's kind of like if a project comes up that I can add something to where we can, feed off of each other and come up with something that'd be great. But if I'm just going to come in and play what this guy can play, why about it?
Yeah, they've all matured quite well. So, the metal maturity is in full force for sure. Yeah. How about that? Oh, Sir Paul, what's up with this? How
Yeah,
old
we
is he
talked
now?
about that a little bit last
81
week.
years old. 81
Oh,
years
geez.
old. And Sir Paul McCartney is looking at touring Australia in October and November. Wow, unbelievable. That
Yeah, I remember we brought that up right at
to.
the end of the show. That was some late breaking news last week, and
Wow.
the sign, the writing was on the wall that he was looking to do something, and now it's been announced. Yeah, he's got the 6 shows over in Australia, which is not a big, huge tour, but for him, that's
81 years old.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
good for him because he usually does a really long show too. He doesn't
Oh, I'm
come in
sure
and do
he'd have
15
to.
shows and bug
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
He's got 30 plus songs or whatever. But yeah, he's playing Adelaide, Melbourne, Newcastle, Sydney, Brisbane, and the Gold Coast between the 18th October and November 4th. So, wow, 81 years
So
old.
yeah, obviously people think, okay, is this going to lead to a North American tour?
I wouldn't. I'll be surprised. 81. Maybe he wants to keep on going like that and do another tour.
That might be
I'll
another
be
just select cities, maybe I don't know, 6 or 8 cities, and I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what
It would
happens.
be cool. I've never seen him. I would like to.
Oh, that'd be crazy. Crazy cool. Speaking of crazy cool, here's a join up that you don't see very often. Well, not really. They didn't really get together. They did different songs, but they're both adding to this Billy. Let me see. What is the name of it here? It's a solid rock team. They're doing an album that will benefit young kids, basically. Alice Cooper has a foundation that helps young kids, his Solid Rock Teen Center in Phoenix and Mesa, Arizona. And they're putting out an album, and Alice is adding a new version of No More Mr. Nice Guy. He's changing it to Mr. Nice Guy. And it's really interesting. Also, you see Rob Halford there. Rob Halford is adding a song to this record. It's very Cooper's daughter Calico is adding to this record. It's a very interesting thing. Alice Cooper has written new lyrics to No More Mr. Nice Guy, top 40 single, blah, 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 for his contribution to a multi-artist children's album benefiting children's charities, including Cooper's Solid Rock Teen Center. So he said, yeah, Alice says, anytime you can help teens in a pretty dangerous world we are living in by switching some words around in a hit song of yours, why wouldn't you? Bingo. Why
and here's
not?
a guy that puts his money where, not just his money where his mouth is, but his time and his effort, man. I mean,
Yep.
Alice is the best, man. We talk about him all the time, but
I can't wait to see him too. Yeah.
yeah, we talked about where he had the license plate coming out there in Arizona, and the proceeds was going to the same center, the Solid Rock Teen Center. So obviously something he's very serious about. And Rob Halford, I guess that kind of is his second home. He doubles up between England and he's got a place in Paradise Valley, Arizona.
How about
And
that?
so yeah, he contributed another song to it, and man, Alice is just he's just the best, man. Yeah, it's called Rock for Children Volume 1. Kind of tells you that there'll be a Volume 2 at some point.
Outstanding. Yeah, he explains the new song, the new lyrics. He says the song is about a young boy who suddenly rethinks carrying on as a bully and transformed himself into a real Mr. Nice Guy. Whatever they can do for the kids these days, geez, these kids today, the struggles are that we didn't have
growing up now. Yeah,
I would, and technology is not helping our kids.
No.
It's ruining them. Boy, I spent most of my day out gallivanting in the neighborhood with the neighborhood friends. Could be miles away. Didn't matter. We'd come home at nighttime to at dinner time. It just the world's a really funky place. So anything anybody can do to help get the kids on the right path.
Yeah, people remember that this foundation is to like help kids like learn how to do stuff musically, like get studio time and do stuff on that end of it more than just playing the instrument. So
just
definitely
something
worthwhile,
for them to
man.
do rather than be bored and constantly on their phones and whatnot.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, not everybody's going to play guitar, and everybody's going to play drums or sing or whatever. There's people. They need people at the boards, man. They need people. So if they can teach some kids that normally wouldn't get that opportunity to come in and learn that stuff, hey.
Well, let's go from a hero to a douchebag.
Can't be bad.
Let's go from a hero to a douchebag. That would be our very own Ronnie Radke.
Yeah, he's turning into a regular.
That's a great picture of him there.
Pop up on the show. Yeah.
Love it. Love the tats, man. Love the tats. But he got his ass banned from social media. Ha ha. Ha ha. That dumbass. Yeah, following reverse frontman Ronnie Radke faced serious backlash after his transphobic remarks on TikTok. Radke's TikTok account was banned accordingly, and later he realized he was shadow banned on Twitter as well. Well, gosh, he can't stay out of trouble. He's in the news, but as Frank Zappa who said, any publicity is good publicity, but I don't know if that falls true in this case.
I think in this day and age that's changed. And we didn't have cancel culture back in the 70s. I mean, this is a different animal they're dealing with now. So yeah, we won't get into the nuts and bolts of what he said and everything, but the typical transphobic statement that we hear a lot anymore.
Well,
and quite honestly, why do it? Well, what good could come from it?
It done good.
I mean,
good.
Yeah, you want to be able to express yourself, say what you want to say or whatever, but
basically what he said is that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. That's basically what he said. But in this screwed up world, you can't say that there fellow with tattoos all over your face.
Up until 3 hours ago, it was perfectly fine to say that, but now you get canceled for that. So and he's got to know that. So
what happened?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Ronnie Radke, he's fallen. I don't think he's going to be able to get up from this one. Although I'm sure we'll hear about him again. But jeez, fella,
and two, all right, you want to be able to be political and express yourself or whatever. That's all well and good, but getting into a battle with some rando on social media is not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it, man.
Nope. Oh well, he moves.
He doesn't seem to learn. He gets into this hot water a lot, it seems. But
our buddies in Nickelback. Oh my, Nickelback.
Yeah,
they got a documentary. Yeah. Well, they got a documentary coming out, Hate to Love, and it's going to be premiered in September, and that would be interesting. I'm sort of surprised. A book out already. You know, you usually wait till the bands broke up and then everybody
No,
has
it's a
their.
film. It's a
Oh,
film.
is it a
It's not a
film?
book. Yeah, documentary.
Oh, well, what? Why? They're not even broke up yet. You know, just to show how they grew to be one of the most hated bands, or what? What's up with that, Doc?
Yeah, it's gonna receive the worldwide premiere in September at the Toronto Film Festival. And yeah, it kind of explores is how a band that successful can also be so hated.
Oh
And
man,
they've been working on it for like 6 years. It's been 6 years in the
that's a lot
making.
of
So
hate.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'll be
um,
darned. Boy, oh boy, what a shame. But you know, it's also a shame, Doc. This Chad Kroger, our very own Chad Kroger. He's having vocal issues. You're doing a concert in Missouri. We'll call it Missouri because that's how they call it down there, Missouri. And about the fourth song, by the song "Animals," he had to stop the song and address the crowd. His voice is all vocals are all messed up, and he says, I can't do it." trying to sound like Chad Kroger. I can't do this. He said, I can't sit here with an effing absolutely destroyed throat and try to make it through this show and pretend like there's nothing effing wrong and take your effing money because that is wrong. I'm having a hard time hitting effing notes. The doctor just jabbed me in the hip with some prednisone. Wow. And we all crossed our fingers backstage hoping this was going to work out. But I cannot, in good conscience, stand up here and sing these effing songs and have all my voice cracked and everything sound like shit. It's driving me effing nuts. So I'll just tell you what, I could give it my best. I could keep trying, and we could just pull the F around if you want to. Jeez. Wow. And then the guitarist said he'll sing for him. And then he said, F it, let's start this one over again. I'm just going to give it all I've got. Well, then you should have just done that without having to stop the song. Just give it all you got. Well, I guess he wants to explain why he might not be sounding 100%, I guess.
I kind of give him props on that, just kind of being upfront with everybody, and But then again, you don't want to be because as everybody knows, a lot of times that's the only time somebody's going to see you, and they're going to think, "I got live. These guys suck." So yeah, you want to kind of
yeah, good call. Yeah. So. Oh well, hang in there, Nickelback. What is it? 2 weeks, you say?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact date, but it's coming up. Yeah, it's
coming up.
this month. So
Chad, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm. I know a lot of people down Nickelback. I'm kind of one of them. I don't. To me, they're just I don't know. They are kind of derivative and kind of cliche and
Well, we will see, Doc. We will see.
They got a couple good songs, I guess, but
maybe they will change your mind. You become a nickelhead.
I did some research as to why people hate Nickelback.
Go for it. Did you?
A lot of it's kind of a bandwagon kind of thing. So it kind of started. Oh God, it's back in the early 2000s. You remember on Comedy Central, there was a show called Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn. I don't know if you remember that show. It was just different comedians, like kind of his buddies and stuff, like Nick DiPaolo, those kind of guys were on there a lot and stuff. And there's a comedian, big tall guy, Brian Posehn. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's like a big metalhead. He's like 6'10" or something.
Wow.
And during like the interview part or wherever Nickelback came on, this was early on in their career.
Okay.
And came up and Nickelback sucks. He just goes into a tear about and Nickelback sucks. And it's like, okay, well, that came up on a show, and how many people see that show, but that was used like when they do the promotion for the show, when they have the commercials. So that was just repeated. I'm sure thousands of times. So everybody that kind of watched Comedy Central was kind of got that drilled into their heads, a little bit. So I think it was kind of, a bit of a bandwagon kind of effect. And then
we'll see.
Just enough that they weren't really good enough to defend themselves, kind of, I guess, just
we'll see though. We'll see. We're gonna see. We'll see, if they're worthy of the horrible things people think of
the
them.
the mockings.
Well, yeah. Like I say, I was gonna do a couple of songs of theirs, and some of the band members said, no, we're not doing any Nickelback. But they're good songs. It doesn't matter. So, jeez. whatever. I just,
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
gotta
We
agree.
will.
I gotta agree with your band members on that one. Murph.
Okay, brother. All right. Well, we'll see. We're gonna see him, and we'll see. If they put out a good show. Got a couple of country guys opening for him.
Yeah.
So, but that means Daisy Dukes, my man. So I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean by that? Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is bullshit. I'll tell you
Hopefully,
what.
no Daisy Dudes, just Daisy Dukes. But
Johnny John Lydon, ex-lead singer of Sex Pistols. He was caretaking for his wife, who suffered a long time illness. He gave up everything to caretake for her, and she passed away fairly recently, last half a
yeah,
year.
we brought that up during the last
And
couple months, maybe. Yeah.
some gal, he's got a stalker who claims to be his daughter, and he's gotten to the point where he's had to file a police report. He says, we all need barriers. We need some degree of separation from others, if only just for a sense of security. At the moment, I'm struggling with a stalker who is letting herself in my yard at night, running around claiming that she's my daughter, he continues, and she's in her 50s. It's the uncaring selfishness of it that is really upsetting. I've had stalkers in the past, but this one is becoming just too irrational and has potential for something much more serious. So I've had to report it. I don't like to get people into trouble, but it's causing me stress. It's making me a bag of nerves. Yeah, that's bullshit. Leave him the F alone. Cripes. As if he hadn't been through enough. Gee, some psycho broad. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope
this
she
came
ain't his
up,
real daughter. God.
Well, that's what I was going to kind of get into too. But yeah, this came up in an interview with his band, Public Image Limited. They have a new album coming out, and they were doing an interview, standard stuff, and they asked about one of the songs on the album in particular, and he wrote it about this, this.
Wow.
What's going on with this. So, seems to
darned.
me it'd be real easy to find out. I mean, if she's your daughter, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out eventually. But I mean, your DNA test easy enough. But yeah.
Oh
Just
boy. Well,
worry about the stalking aspect, and I mean, obviously, he must not have any iota, of a thought that she's actually his daughter. So,
and she wouldn't stalk him if she was his daughter. She wouldn't stalk him. She found a way to do it properly. Stalking. What the hell is that? So she's just a mental case. And that's my official conclusion as a certified psychologist, doc. I wish. No, I don't wish. Here we go. Here's a story. The passing of Sinead O'Connor. The last couple of weeks, the last month or so.
Last week, yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. Not funny, but she told her children beforehand. She was prepared for her death. She told her children that before they even contact emergency services, they're supposed to contact her accountant, which is pretty bizarre. But she sort of made sense out of it. See, when the artists are dead, they're much more valuable than when they are alive. Tupac has released way more albums since he died than he ever did alive. So it's kind of gross what record companies do. She continued, that's why I've always instructed my children since they were very small. If your mother drops dead tomorrow, before you call 911, call my accountant and make sure the record companies don't start releasing my records and not telling you where the money is. Boy, oh boy, that's pretty forward thinking there, pretty blunt, if you will,
That's pretty well in character to how she kind of, went about doing things, though. I mean, always, almost paranoid, but
about the system. Well, she was, look at what she's talked about, with the Catholic Church and whatnot. So she was really very intelligent in that respect, and yeah, she's right though. Everything she said right. The record company, they don't give a squat. They just want to make a buck, and to hell with everything and everything. So good for her to instructing them. Not necessarily not call 911 first, but immediately, take care to lock down her legacy musically immediately, so that nobody can, feel for it. You know,
You know, and it's good that she had that conversation with him, because I'm sure, you know, in the time of grief, you know, you're kind of wondering, you know, what would mom want and everything. But no,
Right.
she's laid it out exactly. This is what you need to do. So, you know.
boy, good for her, man. Unbelievable. Oh boy. I'll tell you, Doc, another great show, man. It was a great week of music for us. Sure was a guess. And we've only got, like I said, we got one show this week, but then things start kicking up again. We got a pretty
Yeah.
full schedule of music coming up. Very real varied, starting to get a little bit heavier as we go along here. And looking forward to getting back on the lawn, stretching out the feet, putting the toes in the grass, just enjoying the sunset and stuff. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Sure do appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you next week on the Rock and Roll Geezer show. So what do you say, Doc? What do you say you take us home, brother?
Yeah, we'll talk all about that concert next week, and whatever else comes up in the rock world, as you all know. So thanks again for checking in on us. Sincere thanks, and thanks again for our subscribers. And if you haven't, there's a little logo right about here somewhere. Just click on that Mr. Natural logo and join the community. We'd be glad to have you. So until next week, have a great rock and roll filled week, everybody. We'll see you next time.